the great privilege is to get critical comments that make you understand what you did better than you understand yourself. And I feel that Eric has done that, so I've been writing furiously so that I know what I did. I'm going to say a few things about Eric and his role in my life, or in my work at the end of the day. My first book was a kind of feminist meditation on his work and the work of David Montgomery, who's since passed away. Eric worked on the obvious political challenge of the pre-Civil War and post-Civil War period, which was race. David Montgomery took all of those ideas and applied them to an infant labor movement, and then I did the same for women and women's rights. And I guess the result would be to understand that this was a moment of in which a really comprehensive vision of radical change, not just affecting enslaved people, but affecting the whole society. I think what you said about that for the first time, questions of equality could be framed constitutionally is really crucial. I'm going to anticipate my final comments because some of you might not be there, but to me, the Women's March on January 21st had the potential of that. If it turns out to be a movement and not just a moment, it was a sort of vision. I assume many of you were at those marches wherever you lived, and the size and the range of them was really something new in history. And if it continues, even if it doesn't, but that moment in particular was a vision of a just society, and as you say, maintaining ourselves, if not being able to go forward, but a just society in which the vision was set by women, and set by women with, I would say, fundamentally, if diversely understood, feminist goals. I guess I want to add one more thing, which is, I really like what you said about that. I demonstrated that suffrage was more than just this demand for the vote. There are a couple things I did in that book that you say the battle's never over, and the battle has never been over to make these points. And one of them is that feminism in its current form and in its form in that period is not a single issue movement. It's not isolated from other campaigns for social justice. And it is at its heart a progressive movement. And this is uniquely hard to do, to explain this. I'll say one more thing and then I'll leave. I really admire that Eric can take his deep scholarly insights and make them available to people on a Stephen Colbert show. I mean, that was great. I haven't learned how to do that. Oh no, I've lost my there's an op-ed that I've been wanting to write and I haven't gotten the courage to write. Not an op-ed or a letter to the editor. Just last week, once again, the New York Times Magazine had an article about feminism, which starts out with 3 or 4 paragraphs about how great it is, and then the rest of the article is about how crazy feminists are and you take your picks. Either they're too narrow or they're too wild. There is no way in the New Yorker and the New York Times for anybody to write about feminism which doesn't take, and usually says something like, as feminists say, and then they'll probably cite Gloria Steinem, which is of course not even true of her. And there's something about this concept of feminism, and maybe when I retire I'll have the chance to deal with it, that captures a kind of denigration and dismissal that's not true of any of its companion movements for social change. And so that's that. Thank you.